Cool. All right. We'll take them because they look very similar. And we have Cindy Sherman at the bottom of the deck. And once again, I'm getting kind of like, triggers, seeing all this purple. So Rem Koolhaas is one of the very few architects in these decks, and I always see them as, kind of like a manifestation energy, which we see in this magician being in the future. And this guy is that Scorpio, that death energy, right? So breathing is secondary. Don't forget to think. A good manifesto is foremost legible. Reconsider your concept of small versus big. And then Damien Hirst. Art and science are for confronting mortality. Postpone death. Preserve it in formaldehyde. Encrust it in diamonds. Talk to your local pharmacist. So especially with these two together, I'm getting... they both have the bald heads. That it's a good time to kind of, look at the shadow side, kind of like, dissect those, I always get that dissection kind of feel from it. I almost feel like it's this way, right? Dissect those aspects of ourselves that we're needing to look at, and then, your manifesto. What's your manifesto, right? What do you fight for? What are you moving towards? What are you building? Right, really taking a look at that, especially with this soul healing over here. Yeah, that one. All right, Aquarius. So I did take a few minutes to kind of look this over. I had a pretty good feeling of what I was seeing here, but this shadow side over here was really speaking to me, like that there was more there. I was thinking Black Moon Lilith, and so it got brought up to me, of course recently we've had her kind of emphasized a little bit more, but then Spirit had me really looking at Chiron and Black Moon Lilith, because Chiron, Black Moon Lilith, Mars retrograde, all of this is really activating my 9th house, and it's been like really important for me to look at all that. But through all of that, really looking at that, I found out I've got my Black Moon Lilith is in Aquarius. So kind of feeling like this reading might be significant for me as well. But so I looked it up, and sure enough, I was talking about that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Well, the day of the blue moon, it is opposing Black Moon Lilith. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is opposing Black Moon Lilith. Because, with this being, and it's really standing out to me, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. But this over here, beside this justice, which I'm feeling like there's this karmic kind of thing going on here with your identity, right? Your past, your healing those old karmic wounds, especially around the feminine, I'm feeling, right? Because we have the Queen of Pentacles right here. This is very earthy energy for you guys, right? And they're like across from each other. This is Capricorn, right? Some of y'all might have some Capricorn in your charts, which would just emphasize that, but it doesn't have to be, right? We have a lot of stuff going on with Capricorn. In fact, Saturn, which is still in Capricorn, yes, it's still in Capricorn, is I think, let me make sure here. Yeah, okay, it's still in Capricorn, is squaring that Black Moon Lilith as well. So it's really, it's coming out in here because it's in the emotions, right? It's in our relation. It's touching this Two of Cups. It's touching this justice. And I feel like this is kind of helping you, you know, because we have the solitude where she's holding this broken heart. You're really exploring your relationships, right? How maybe you've compromised yourself in those relationships, or you've felt ridiculed because of those relationships, right? Judged. You know, it can come out in so many different ways, but I think you're really exploring that during this time period. And I think you're coming to terms with it, right? Because we have the Knight of Pentacles above it with the Magician beside it, Justice here, right? You're really and there's a sensuality that's there. And it's kind of like owning it instead of, you know, being, beating yourself up because of it, that kind of thing, right? Because, yeah, so we'll go back to the beginning here. This Ten of Cups sitting here, what I'm really getting from it, especially with this Eight of Swords here, and even, you know, this Eight of Swords combined with the Queen of Pentacles, well, the whole thing, really. Who am I kidding? All of it is, you know, because you go, especially, and I just like thought about this, you're going from the Ten of Cups to studying the Nine of Cups again in solitude, right? Maybe you've had a relationship in the past, a marriage or a very, you know, strong commitment, or just, you know, this has to do with your own upbringing, but just that the conventionality of it, right? You're just, and I'm like looking at this, and this one cup is kind of moving up, right? It's like you're pushing it out. You're pushing it out. You're like, this cup is not what I want anymore. I've never seen that before. So I feel like this whole part, you know, and we have this soul healing is a 35 breaks down to an 8, and we have it touching this 8 as well. So I feel like you're kind of, you know, you're blocking off family even, right? It's like, I feel like you, because we also have the solitude here, I feel like you're really kind of blocking out all the noise and exploring your inner world, exploring what makes you feel stable. And I do feel like you're feeling stable. You're very connected with Earth, but you're exploring that too. You know, what makes you feel, you know, because this house is here. And underneath that is the cat, which it has to do with self-ownership, right? We have this self-mastery. Look at that. And underneath that is Mother Earth. So, yeah, I mean, like, you're really kind of that stability, that connection with Earth even. Like, I really feel a strong connection with Earth, because here she's barefoot, right? Touching the ground, which might be important for you to do as well during this time, right? To kind of, because, you know, you're probably getting downloads. We do have this soul healing card sitting beside it, which is activating your third eye, your crown chakra, all of that, which is really important, right? And we even have it sitting over top of each other like that, right? The crown and the you know, soul, I mean, yeah, the Earth Star chakra, which is, you know, that earth to sky. Yeah. I'm just, and yeah, I'm looking at her crown here too. I'm just getting this, you know, and the green, the heart chakra. You're really healing through all of this. But I feel like by isolating yourself to a certain extent, it's actually going to be very helpful to you. So, and this is more that first week too. I feel like you're, you know, which you might be isolating. No, here actually I feel like you're kind of getting out a little bit more, being enjoying nature here. Okay, we'll get to it though. So we have Janet Frame, belonging, and the Two of Cups. And, you know, I do feel like there's some kind, you know, even like here we have this like light shining out from these. It's like these 2 cups clink. You know, you might meet somebody that like, you know, you just, you click and it kind of triggers a lot of issues, right? Because I just am drawn to that eel there. And it kind of like, it triggers everything that happens. Because here you're just, I feel like you're alone, you're confident, you're, you know, blocking everything out. And then something happens. There's a meeting of minds. And this doesn't have to be or hearts, actually. Minds, hearts, yeah, they're all the same, right? When you're an air sign. Right? Because we have this justice card. There's this balance. There's this attraction, right? This 9 of Cups is sitting above it as well, which further tells me, you know, this is, but it doesn't have to be a love interest. This can just be a soul family, right? A soulmate of some sort, somebody, and you could, you know that, but I mean, it very well could be, because we do have this shadow side. Take what resonates, right? Okay, so this kind of, I feel like this triggers this, and it's funny, we even have her kind of like, you know, she's looking over here, she's got her head tilted, right? There's like this study of, you know, what makes me happy? What makes me happy? What, and once again, this sustainability, and she's wearing green again. And yeah, there's a celebrate, you know, that's, I feel like you feel good, and it's almost like, you know, there's this fear of getting your heart broken again. Right? We've all had it. And so that kind of sends you into this study. This study of yourself, of what makes you happy. This study of, you know, why am I by myself? You know, why have I blocked myself off? Right? There's a lot of, and this is conscious, and it's also going on subconsciously, right? And I feel like this is, you know, bringing that Black Moon Lilith, that shadow feminine, to justice, right? I mean, we see, you know, this imagery here is pretty shadow feminine, right? So yeah, I mean, like, it's breaking a lot of those karmic cycles, which I've seen a lot of. This definitely has to do with the shadow feminine, which is making me feel more like this connection is a romantic connection. Come here, Miss Zena. My nephew named her. It was her cat, and he was going to college and couldn't keep her, so I took her. And oh, he says he didn't know it, but you know, I love that she's the warrior princess. Xena. All right. So yeah, I mean, I'm really getting this healing of the shadow feminine going on, which leads to, I feel like, oh, you know, this moving forward. There could be an offer that is made here, right, with this Knight of Pentacles, and just being able to enjoy it and enjoy that sensual side of you, and indulging responsibly, right? This is like going slow, moving forward slowly. But, you know, there's a lot of sexual presence with this stag here in the background as well. I'm getting a very sensual stuff going on here. But there's integrity in it, right? It's moving along your soul path. Very good. And yeah, that's, I mean, like, sorry about that. A cat came along and knocked over the camera. So, yeah, I was also saying that I felt like this was moving forward with a project, right, that you've been working on. And it's, you know, this is also about, you know, material wealth and that sort of thing. And you might need to look at that too, right, as well. A lot of what keeps us from feeling abundant, right, has to do with things that we've learned, karmic cycles that we need to break, thought patterns that we have, etc. And yeah, so I feel like this is moving towards abundance as well. This project is promising some material return. And then we have the Magician in the future. And I'm seeing, you know, definitely, you know, that you're moving towards this very balanced way of being that naturally brings in abundance, right? Learning how to manifest the life that you want. But also that mastery of the self. You know, the Magician is about the one, right? The individual. Which is what, you know, it causes us to be able to, when we can really truly love ourselves and be with ourselves and pay attention, right? Being self-aware, all of those things, all the self-words, that is what helps us to manifest, to be aware enough to do so. So yeah. Cool. All right, let's get a piece of art for you. Then we'll take a look. That was a cat. The cats are going crazy. We'll get closing guidance, and then we'll take a look at the underlying energies all together. See what kind of story they're telling. All right, for Aquarius, I'm wanting to go over in here. Okay, to the left. Somebody else got this. This drives me crazy. And I'm getting a lot of repeats in here. And it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. I mean, like in a good way. So what I've been seeing here is like, you know, and these are two, you know, it's like they're separate worlds. That, you know, it's like they're similar. Yeah. And then so they're repeating. It's like this counterpart kind of situation. But also, you know, the different paths that we can take, you know, there's choice in all of this. And then also jumping timelines, right? I mean, we just see the same scene, you know, but in a different even country, time. So we get people on this road, people over here, people here with cattle, people here with cattle, another group over here on a different road, trees, water, house. So yeah, I mean, it's like different, yet the same. So yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, where are we going for? I'm drawn to the wisdom of the oracle. Let's take a look at what they have to say for you, Aquarius. closing guidance for Aquarius. Oops. October 26th through November 8th. Closing messages, closing guidance for Aquarius. Okay, 2 cards, please. One more for Aquarius, please. There we go. Fork in the road. Isn't that interesting? What were we just saying? All right. Peace. And co-create in reverse. Okay, interesting. I'm going to put this one right here. We've got a 23 breaking down to a 5 and a 4. Okay, so these have special messages for the reversed positions called protection messages. We're going to turn it upright while I read it. You are trying too hard to create all that you desire without the nurturing vital force of spirit. Perhaps you are in a creative slump, suffering writer's block, facing a monumental task, but unable to decide on your first step, so you just avoid doing anything. Does the word overwhelmed apply to you right now? Why do you think it all has to come down to you? Inspiration means the drawing in of divine guidance. You must tap into spirit, not simply yourself. Ask spirit for inspiration. 2 minds are greater than 1, so co-create with your divine partner. Reclaim your partnership with spirit. Inspiration will flow through you as soon as you get out of your own way. Interesting. That 8 of Swords there in your mind. Writer's block. Huh. I totally missed that one. All right. And then we have peace here. That gets solved though, right? Freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and the soul's satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. I feel like that was kind of a confirmation for me. It was like, no, you weren't totally wrong. Okay. I feel like I want to read the rest of them for that one. Yeah, I was getting ready not to, but I feel like because I saw relationship and career coming through as well. All right, so when 2 people are in true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as 2 perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours, and it is to be savored. This is one of those times when you're capable of clear vision about your work and how you create your prosperity. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're called by a presence to step into your power. Just being is enough. For you are in a peaceful harmony with spirit, and it shows in your work. All right, so yeah, I'm glad I read all that because I feel that like this, right, that you are going to feel this kind of peace, that's, you know, peacefulness. It's going to trigger, but this is confirming, you know, pay attention to that peace that you feel, right? There's something that you feel with this person. Tune into it, and it's real, it's true. Right, we have an egg and an egg. So this is, you know, with the, you know, that kind of ties them together even a little bit more. And the fact that this is 4, this is 5, right? So by doing, by kind of like closing your mind to those things, getting in the present moment and kind of tuning into peace, right? Tuning in, looking at those things, all those things that we talked about, and just moving forward, right? Just step by step, that the inspiration is going to hit, right? That Uranus, that aha moment. And the fact it was talking about your divine partner, I feel like spending time with this person even talking about it with them might give you like some kind of spark there, right? Regarding this, right? Because it's all tied together.